Okay, so to what is today's lesson, right? As I learn in chewing in God's love, it is what I found is I think we all familiar about this story, but what I found is a unique um, angle where we can able to see and sit on it so we can truly receive what God is saying to us in the midst of our shame, in the midst of our guilt, in the midst of our regret, in the midst of our disappointment, in the midst of our hurt, right? And in this story, we all know the prodigal son. Like, my nigga was like, listen, I want you to give me what is supposed to be mine. And, you know, the father didn't argue or anything. He was like, here we go. And the son was like, peace, I am out, I cannot be in here any longer, it's a whole bunch of BS up in here, I'm gonna take this money and go away from here, and I'm just gonna spend it in my desire. I desire to party, I desire to have this woman, I desire to do all those things. And he does the whatever that he have in his desire, whatever he have in his desire, he actually release it. By the time that those things, that whatever feelings that he had, and release it, that he recognized that now that I am actually broke, like this desire that I have caused me to the point that I have nothing left, and to the point where I'm working for someone but they're not gonna feed me, but I am really want to do things that is actually I am not supposed to do because of my emptiness. I'm willing to fill myself whatever that I am going to receive in this moment, because the people that I'm working with, they not capable of giving me literally what I need. And when the son decided to come to his senses, and he come to his senses, if I go to my father's house and I'm gonna tell him that I actually have sinned against him, which is that coming, changing their mind before he even go to the father. The part of this that I want you to see is before he go to the father, he come to the senses, that he recognized what he did, and he already transformed his mind. But the part was what caught me was he transformed in his mind how he see himself in that moment, not how his father had been seeing him. But what is that? That's what happened to us, right? Like when we did something that caused us shame, then we shrink ourselves and we give this ourselves a view that is equipped and incubate and growth by shame. But God is saying us that when you come to my home, when you come to the kingdom, when you come to me, that I am actually running toward you to hold you, because I am rejoicing that you are found. I am rejoicing that you come to your senses. I am rejoicing that you chose me over the world. He is rejoicing. I think sometimes we punish ourselves, we set ourselves for punishment when God actually want to release us from that. The point is you went out there and discover yourself and recognize where you belong. Where you belong is with me. And the fact that you come to that senses, I'm good. That is worth of to rejoice in. And I think sometimes that we have this tendency that our shame is greater than the mercy that's going to be over our life, and we forget that his love is what we need to wash over our shame. His love is what we need to wash over our guilt and our disappointment, even though there's a part of us that is broken, that his love is what's gonna shape and mold it in a way that we're not able to hurt another person, because we are filled ourselves with his love and with his mercy. And I think it's very difficult to receive his mercy if you really did not receive his love. And one of the profound things that I found is when his father was rejoicing, and in the midst of him rejoicing and giving him a kiss and all that kind of stuff, because he was so excited because his son returned back to him, that he confessed what is in his heart. What is in his heart was, I am not worthy to be called your son. I have sinned against heaven and against you. So his father still allowed him to release what is inside of him. So at this part right here is what I want you to get. Like whatever what what is in your heart, still release it to God. Because sometimes what happens is when we hold what is in our heart, because we're so hooked up in the receiving His love, what's going to happen is what in your heart and God, what God is saying to you, sometimes they become conflict. So it's always letting yourself, in order for you to make yourself empty, letting yourself to be empty in order for you to receive His love, require you to let God know which state you are in. If you feel like in this moment that I am not worthy of receiving your love, release those thoughts so God's thoughts can be in your heart and reside in there. So when you decided to say that I am not worthy of your love, God can able to repair those things, saying that you are worthy enough to sacrifice my son for you. You are worthy enough for me even to empty myself so I can be on the earth with you, so all these things can come to pass. So I think sometimes we hide ourselves with our thoughts instead of releasing ourselves from the thoughts. So it's very important that recognizing God love, because His arm is big enough to hold on your guilt, to hold on your shame, to help to hold on anything that is separating you from God. And if you just dare yourself to just lean into His arm, which is lean into His word and lean into what He's saying to you, that I am crazy enough to tell you that I am a living testimony that shame don't have no option but to let you go. That disappointment no option but to let you go. Especially that fear don't have no option but to let you go, because His arm is big enough to crush all those things that held you back from Him.